Hi, I'm Lisa from Everything Nice for Dolls. I make and sell doll clothes for 18-inch dolls, such as American Girl dolls. I also make other sizes, such as the 14-inch Welly Wishers and the 15-inch Bitty Babies. I have an Etsy shop, and I will put that link in the description area. All right. Okay, so in today's video, like I said, I'm going to show you how you can make your very own backpack for your dolls. Now, the pattern that I am using is from the Urban Backpack Pattern by Sew Urban. Now, you can find that pattern on the website Pixie Fair, and I will put the link down in the description where you can get that pattern. All right, so I really like this pattern. It's probably one of my most popular things in my shop that I sell. Whenever I go to craft shows, like I didn't go to any last year because of COVID, of course, but this year I plan on going to one at least. And whenever I have my craft shows, the backpacks are a big hit, you know. So anyway, so I thought that I would show you how to sew a backpack. All right, so I thought that I would. Okay, so the materials that you will need to have is, of course, your fabric for your backpack. And you will also need to have some fusible interfacing, okay? All right, now, the amount is not very much. It doesn't take a whole lot of fabric for these. That's what I really like about this, is that the fabric, it doesn't take a whole lot. So you can get a complete backpack, maybe even two. You might be able to get two out of a couple of fat quarters. So I usually like to get a main fabric like this. I picked this up at Walmart. I think this is a really cute one, fabric, and then a contrast. So this kind of goes together. You'll have a contrast fabric and a main fabric. Okay, so here's some other pieces that I found just at Walmart. This one will make a really cute backpack, and the contrast fabric to go with it is this right here. Okay, all right, another one that I found is, this is a really cute unicorn fabric. Now that would be a really cute backpack, and I got a cute contrast fabric to go with it. Okay, in just a little bit, I will turn the camera around so that you can see how to sew this cute little backpack. All right. Okay, so in today's video, like I said, I'm going to show you how you can make your very own backpack for your dolls. Now, the pattern that I am using is from the Urban Backpack Pattern by Sew Urban. Now, you can find that pattern on the website Pixie Fair, and I will put the link down in the description where you can get that pattern. All right, so I really like this pattern. It's probably one of my most popular things in my shop that I sell. whenever I go to craft shows, like I didn't go to any last year because of COVID, of course, but this year I plan on going to one at least. And whenever I have my craft shows, the backpacks are a big hit, you know. So anyway, so I thought that I would show you how to sew a backpack. All right, so I thought the materials that you will need to have is, of course, your fabric for your backpack. And you will also need to have some fusible interfacing, okay? All right, now, the amount is not very much. It doesn't take a whole lot of fabric for these. That's what I really like about this, is that the fabric, it doesn't take a whole lot. So you can get a complete backpack, maybe even two. You might be able to get two out of a couple of fat quarters. So I usually like to get a main fabric like this. I picked this up at Walmart. I think this is a really cute one, fabric, and then a contrast. So this kind of goes together. You'll have a contrast fabric and a main fabric. Okay, so here's some other pieces that I found just at Walmart. This one will make a really cute backpack, and the contrast fabric to go with it is this right here. Okay, all right, another one that I found is, this is a really cute unicorn fabric. Now that would be a really cute backpack, and I got a cute contrast fabric to go with it. Okay, in just a little bit, I will turn the camera around so that you can see how to sew this cute little backpack. Okay, now I have already cut out my fabric. Now I have two pieces of the bag fabric. That's the main fabric right here. I chose a really cute llama fabric. Okay, and you also need to have two pieces for the sides in the main fabric, and one piece cut out for the flap. And then out of the contrast fabric, you also need to have two pieces cut out for the bag, and then a piece cut out for the flap, and two pieces cut out for the sides, and a piece of cut out for the pocket, and also two pieces cut out for the straps. All right, so you also need two pieces for the bag, two bag pieces cut out of the fusible interfacing. And then you need to have two pieces cut out for the sides. All right, so we'll get to the next step in just a bit. Okay, the other thing that I did not mention that you will need is obviously some thread to match your bag. Now, the next step is to put the iron-on interfacing onto the bag fabric, the main bag fabric, and onto the side fabric. Okay, so I have already done that, and you will just follow the manufacturer's instructions on how to iron this fusible interfacing onto your fabric. So you'll do it on the main bag fabric and the main side fabrics. Okay. All right. So the next thing that we will get to is to start sewing the bag. All right. So All right, now the next thing that you will need to do is you will need to do the straps. So you will need to pin the straps right sides together lengthwise, okay? Then you will sew with a 1/4 inch seam all the way down the length of the strap. Okay, so right now I'm pinning the strap. Okay, so, and you will use a 1/4 inch straight stitch on this. Okay, all right, so you make sure that you take your pins out as you sew. You don't want to hit a pin and it will really mess up your needle. If it doesn't break, then it will make your needle dull. Okay. All right, that's one strap. Okay, then you're going to do the other strap the same way. Okay. All right, then the next thing that you will need to do is that you will need to you'll need to turn these right side out. Okay, so this is what I do. I use what is called a bodkin, and I just kind of put it over the end. I put the open end over the bodkin. It takes a little bit of time at first. I mean, once you get it going, it's not too hard to do it, but oops. Okay. So, but once you get it going, it goes pretty good. See, now here, this is the way you get it started, like this, and you just keep on pulling down until you get it started really good, and it will eventually it will do. Okay, and now I'm just about down to the I'm just about down to the last part of it, and I think you kind of see what I mean. This is probably, of the whole process of this whole project, this is probably the most tedious thing that you have to do, is getting the straps turned right side out, you know. So it happens, but you know, it's just, I don't know. And if anybody has an easier way, if they know an easier way, I know in the instructions it says use a safety pin. I don't know. I just have never had any luck with using a safety pin. So this is what I use. Okay, so now you got it all the way through. Okay, see? So it's gotten all the way through, and it is turned right side out. And the next thing that you would have to do is to iron this. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next one. See, I've still got one more to do. I've got to turn this right side out too. And you know, another thing that might help really with this process if you trim this seam. down to about 1/8 inch, and that probably will help with the process, is to trim this seam a little bit, and that will help keep it from being so much bulk in there. But just make sure that you trim the seam and don't get the stitching, because you don't want to undo what you just did. Okay, so in just a little bit, I'm going to get this other one turned right side out, and then we're going to press them, and then I'll be back. We'll do on to the next part. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing that you will want to do after you have already pressed it is you want to make 2 rows of top stitching. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to do 2 rows of top stitching. One on one side and one on the other. Cut that. Now, she says in the pattern that doing the 2 rows of top stitching will keep it from rolling. Okay, so right, clip those threads. Okay, all right, so that's one, and now we just need to do the second one. The same thing to the second one. We just clip the threads. Okay, and now we're ready for the next step, which I think will be actually sewing the backpack bag. Okay. Okay, now the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put the straps onto the main bag fabric. Okay, so you're going to find the center of the bag by folding it in half like this, and then you can either mark it with a pin, or you can just see where the crease is, and you're going to place the strap on here on the bottom of the bag about 1 inch away from the center at an angle. Okay, so they're going to be placed at an angle about 1 inch away from the center. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to use my measuring tool, hem gauge. Okay, that's 1 inch. All right. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to baste this onto the bottom of the bag. Okay, so you can either do hand baste it, or you could do it like I'm going to do it on my machine, and I just have a long stitch, a longer stitch for that basting. So basting stitch is not a stitch that you want to, it's just to hold it in place. Okay, so it's just to hold the strap in place while you are sewing the bag. So it's just going to hold this strap in place. Okay, all right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to place the other ends of the strap at the top of the bag. So these ends right here need to go at the top. Okay, and they're going to be, you're going to put them close to each other in the center. Okay, so pin them just like this, and they're going to be right next to each other. So they're going to be meeting right there in the center. So I'm going to put another pin right there to hold it in place. Okay. Then I'm going to do just like I did with the bottom straps. I'm going to baste these in place also. Okay. So I'm going to baste these straps in place. All right. And like I said, you can either do it by hand or like I'm doing on the machine with a long stitch. Okay. All right. There we go. I'm going to cut my thread. Okay. Now, hopefully you can see how that stitch is long, and it's just a basting stitch that will hold these straps in place while we sew the rest of the. Okay, so here is the pocket piece. Okay, unfolded. This is the way it looks. So you're going to, with the wrong side facing up, that's the side that's not quite so pretty, that's this side, you're going to fold this straight edge under 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, not quite an inch. So you're going to fold it down 3/4 of an inch down. Okay. That's about like that. And then you're going to take this and you're going to press it down. Okay? You're going to press it down. So we'll do that. I'll do that over there on the ironing board and we'll be right back. All right, now I've got this already pressed down. And what I did was on this little edge right here, I just took my serger and I just finished that edge just so you don't have any fray, you know, the edge won't fray. If you want to do it, if you don't have a serger, and if you want to, you can always do a zigzag stitch just to finish that edge. Okay, so the next thing that it says to do is it says to stitch 2 rows close together. So you're going to stitch a row down here, and then you're going to go over 1/4 of an inch and stitch another row. So you're doing double stitching right on here. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Oh, first of all, don't forget, go back and switch your stitching to regular stitching and not the basting stitching. All right, now cut your threads. Okay, now you're going to do another row of stitching about 1/4 of an inch from the original row. Okay, and you'll cut your threads. Okay. All right. Okay, now you have 2 rows of stitching on here. Okay. Now then, the next thing that you will want to do is you will want to, on the bag front, okay, this is a bag front, the one that you don't have the straps on, you're going to place the pocket on the bag, match it up to the bag. You're going to pin along here. All right. right, now then, you will want to baste around this outer edge. Baste it all the way around using a 1/4 inch. Now we're going to have to change my thread length, stitch length, to a long stitch so that I can baste this. All right, now then, I'm just going to go ahead, and like I said, you could, if you wanted to do this by hand, you could do the basting by hand. I just like to do the basting with the machine as much as possible, just easier. Takes less time, but you can do whatever you want to do. All right, so I am going to just baste along here. Okay. And like I said, that's just to hold this pocket in place while we do the sewing, okay? All right, so now we've got the pocket on the front part, and we've got the straps onto the back part. Okay, so next thing we will need to do is front and the back. So these two have got to be attached, so we're going to attach the sides. And that is these that we've already put interfacing. Sorry, I drew a blank there. Okay, so we're putting the interfacing on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take with right sides together, and this is the right side. With right sides together, we're going to pin the sides to the back. Okay, now you're going to ease the fabric around the corners, and then you're going to stitch it. So we will do that. Okay. All right, and now that concludes part 1 of how to make a backpack for your dolls. Stay tuned next week when I will finish the backpack and put both pieces together, the backpack part and the lining, and we'll get it all finished, and you'll see what the finished product looks like. Okay, so now if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe, and also hit that bell notification so you'll always know when I upload another video. Okay, see you next time.